All right, so today on the workbench, what we're doing is we're throwing in a N-pin jack piezo pickup. So a guy kind of looks like this. So this is one of the little Piezo Transducer style pickups. This is the N-pin jack that was actually going to replace the N-pin, which I've already taken out of the acoustic guitar. In theory, fairly simple. All right, now the process of putting one of these in, kind of tricky, but I'm gonna throw a few tips at you here that might make it go a little bit easier if you're, gonna try doing this yourself. Like again, you're gonna have to drill a hole in your guitar. So in order to actually, fit this in where this screw hole used to be. So now I've already went ahead and I already pre-drilled it because it's a little bit of a timely process. I mean, I take my time anytime I'm doing any kind of work like this. So what I did as an example here is after I took the end pin out, and I've already put this piece of felt on here, so I'm not going to remove this. But anyhow, what I did was I went ahead, I took out the end pin. I went ahead, we unscrewed the end pin out. Then I put a piece of tape over top where the little hole was for the end pin. Poked a little hole in there so I could start my drill bit. Now I started out with a 3/8 drill bit, then I went up to a 1/2 inch drill bit because the 1/2 inch, the finishing size, is what you're going to need in order to be able to slide this 1/2 inch end pin jack through the guitar body. So now if you don't feel comfortable drilling a hole in your guitar, by all means take it to a professional and have it done. Because there's always a chance, even the reason I put the tape on here is so when I'm drilling, it doesn't crack and split the finish. It's just an old woodworking trick. Usually works out great, successful for me so far. I always keep some clear nail polish on here, so if you do start to get a splinter or chip, put a little bit of clear nail polish on it, let it dry. Usually helps prevent the the chips or splits from going any further. But always start smaller on your drill bits, work your way up. Don't just go right in with the 1/2 inch, and chances are you will split the wood. Like I say, I always tape it off before I do any drilling, just to prevent anything from splitting and cracking. So like I say, I've already drilled the hole. So now we're gonna take this end pin jack, go through the guitar body. I've already taken the strings off the guitar. This is a 000 style acoustic guitar that we're putting this into. Another thing that's tough if you've got, big arms like myself, trying to fit down through the sound hole to get all the way where you need to be, that could be tricky too. You're gonna need to be able to get your hand in there, unless you've got some specialty tools to work with, because you're gonna have to tighten this nut down on the inside of the guitar body. So you're gonna have to be able to get your hand in there to do that, like I say. So we're gonna go ahead and disassemble this guy. We're gonna take this piece off here. That's gonna be our new end pin. We're gonna take this nut off and this washer. Now I've already moved this nut and this washer down to the bottom of the end pin. And I also went ahead and I took a piece of Velcro and put it on the back of the transducer, so that way when I'm ready to go, I can just stick it right to the inside of the guitar body where I want it to be at. If I need to remove it, I can just pull it off the Velcro. So another trick, you'll see at the end of this transducer end pin jack, you see this hole right here. Now sometimes it's hard fitting your hand through there, getting it fished through the hole. So one trick, now this is just a piece of crafting wire right here, just some thin gauge. I always keep this stuff around, it comes in handy. This is just actually some floral wire. So what we're gonna do to help us ensure some success here is I'm gonna take this wire, I'm gonna fish it through the hole I've got already, just because I'm not sure if I can get my fat hand all the way up where I need it to be. All right, I'm gonna take it now, I'm gonna fish it through this hole that's in the transducer pickup here. You can see I fished it right through there, and make me a little loop here, just so she doesn't come undone. Pinch that off. So now this is going to help me pull this into where I need it to go. Try to get my hand down in here. Once I get it where I need it to go, help guide it in. There we go. Now we're starting to come through here. I'll keep my felt on there best I can. Alright, so now that I've got it through, just readjust this a little bit. Well, if you can see, I've got it pulled through with the wire here. Camera angle might have been a little bad there. I'm going to pull that wire out now that we've got it through. I'm going to take my felt, put it back over top of here where I want that to go. Okay. Now we're cooking with fire now. The reason I've got this felt on here, I've used this before and it doesn't really hurt the guitar finish, so I'm not concerned about that. But when you're tightening everything down, all right, now you can see that we've got it through. All right, is when you're tightening both nuts down there, that compressing against the wood, I want something soft behind it so it doesn't take a chance of putting a crack in it. That's just me personally. You know, you can use little felt washers behind there. I've seen a lot of that, which is fine too. I just don't happen to have one of those with me today, and this is going to work fine for what I'm doing here. So now what I need to do is get down in here, and I've got to spin that nut. All right. Doing that with my hand in here, because it's gonna get it as tight as I can. Now the one washer that's on there is a lock washer that's on the inside. So in theory, once I put this washer and this nut on, it'll tighten down against that lock washer and keep it tight. But I'm just gonna try to turn it by hand as much as I can in here. Get it as tight as I can. All right. Now I'm gonna stick my transducer. It's probably gonna end up right underneath the pick guard almost. You could put it anywhere you want for the length of the wire, but I don't recommend when you're sticking it in there, sticking it anywhere where your bridge pins are gonna go in, because your bridge pins, naturally, you're gonna stick down in the guitar this far. So you don't want to put your transducer anywhere right here, or you're gonna take a chance at pushing it out with you when you put the bridge pins back in when you're putting your strings on. So I'm gonna stick it, I think I'm probably gonna get the best resonance. I'm gonna put it right down over here. So that way, if I need to reach down and undo it, it's a lot easier for me to get my fat hand in here to do that. So we're gonna stick that guy right there. Now, I got my thumb kind of where it's at. I'm kind of pressing against the wood, make sure that that's sticking in there pretty good. Okay. Like I say, probably, you know, make that a little bit cleaner. You could have used, you know, a felt washer behind there, a rubber washer. I eventually might do that, but, you know, for today's purposes, this is what we're doing. All right, so then we're gonna take our washer, put our washer on first, then our nut, and that's gonna keep this end pin jack from going back inside the guitar. I can already feel it tightening against the other one on the inside here, so we're gonna keep tightening there. I think we got a pretty good snug fit almost here. And you don't want to over tighten because you don't want to take a chance. I mean, this is wood. You don't want to crack it, so you don't want to super over tighten it. I think you can dang near get it pretty nice and tight by hand. All right. Now we're going to take and put our end pin back on over top of this. See, and this is actually made to fit down over top of this nut here. If you look at the inside of that, how that's threaded. We're going to take that guy, put him on there, reach down in here one more time, and snug that guy up. All right. Now we'll restring it back up, and you can see now we got our, I'll have to give this a little cleaning too. We got our end pin jack in there successful. Like I say, I probably will take this felt, you know, off and put a rubber washer behind here. But just for today's purposes, I'll just put this piece of felt on here, just because I don't want anything cracking against the guitar body here. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Like I say, the biggest key trick of putting that in is this piece of wire right here. Help you fish it through. So, and even if that little hole wasn't inside this one, luckily it came with this, you could take the wire, wrap it around the end pin, help fish it through the guitar body. So just a little trick. Again, if you don't feel comfortable drilling a hole in your guitar body, take it to a professional. If you are going to do it yourself, take on that. Make sure you tape it off first before you start drilling holes. Start with a smaller drill bit, work your way up to the size you need. Like I say, because when you take out the original end pin, the size of the hole that's in there is the size of this screw. So it gives you a good pilot hole to start, and as long as you're drilling a nice straight hole, tape it off. Usually you're going to have success. Like I say, again, if you don't feel comfortable, take it to someone that works on guitars, or a luthier, or local guitar repair shop, and have that done. But if you're a do-it-yourselfer, I think you can knock it out with fairly decent success. So I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.